What's crack-a-lackin', y'all? What's poppin'? What it is? What it do? How are you? Yeah, the whole nine. Well, if you clicked on this video, I'm gonna share with you how I got into the Army, all right? Because there are certain things that your boy had to do. My name is Lucas Wilson. I ship off for U.S. Army basic training on March 8th, 2026, and this is my first enlistment. I am going in to the Army as an enlisted soldier in the grade E3, and you can go into the Army on different I think they're pay scales or pay grades. You can go in as an E1, an E2, an E3, and an E4, and maybe an E5. And I'll have to make a video more specifically discussing what these mean. But if you are likewise going into the Army, you understand kind of what I'm saying. Your boy's coming in as an E3, and that is because I have nearly 2 years of college credit. That is a what do you call it? Kind of like an enticement, endorsement. It's a little something that adds to the benefit of my pay. And in order for me to even sign my contract, here's what I had to do. I had to walk into the recruiting office, the U.S. Armed Forces recruiting office. And I knocked on the door first of the Army, and the Army guy wasn't there. He only said the Navy guy was there, and the boy was not trying to go into the Navy, so I drove across the city to a different province, sub-city, whatever you call it, and I walked into another building, and I said, the recruiter answered the door. He said, "How can I help you?" I said, "Man, I'm just trying to get some information because your boy didn't know nothing about the Army. I didn't know diddly squat. I just thought people went to the Army and if they didn't die, then they came out and lived homelessly. That's what I thought." And homie sat me down, gave me a ton of information I had no idea, nor was I expecting to hear about all the benefits that the Army can offer to the enlistee. Talking about schooling, GI Bill, VA loan, BAH, FAH. There's another bill besides the Fremont bill, maybe that's what it's called. But all these different things, right? And discussing all the different kinds of MOSs, the different military occupational specialists, specialities, whatever it is, different jobs. I didn't know that there were over 150 jobs in the U.S. Army. And all this enticed me because I am a father of 4 children who is more recently divorced and who has not chose a career path, so I don't receive great benefits for my family and I to be taken care of when issues arise, or nor do I have a retirement plan or my savings and all this other type of stuff. I am a recovering alcoholic with 53 days of continual sobriety, and I am very proud of the daily changes and the commitment that I have made to myself to dedicate my time with these days to become something more than I was in the past days. So after I went in and I received all this information, the recruiter had me practice the ASVAB test, to take an ASVAB practice test, like a placement test, and I scored very, very well on it. The recruiter came back and he was like, "Hey man, like, you know what score you got?" And I said, "I don't know what I got, but I know I did good." I said, "I ain't no fool, I ain't no dummy. I just make stupid choices. Make it make sense. I guess I am a dummy though. But academically, I can think, and I understand concepts, and I can comprehend words and paragraphs and break things down. I'm very academic. But I did that, and what happened after that? He gave me, the packets, folders, the whole nine with all the information. And I went back home and I pondered it, and we exchanged contact information, and we set a date to actually take my ASVAB test. And I went to the public library, the city public library, and I bought the book Study for the ASVAB for Dummies or something like that, or the ASVAB for Dummies 2025 edition. And I read that book like a motherfucker. I studied, I took notes, I did this, I did that. I brushed up on arithmetic and reading comprehension, and everything that I would need. I studied my ass off, and I did that for like about a month, and then I went down and took my ASVAB, and that was interesting in itself because you had to go into the federal building, and you had to present 2 forms of ID, driver's license, social security, whatever ID you might have. It was kind of like going through TSA to enter that building. And then, once you enter that building, it's kind of like you already are a soldier a little bit. I mean, everything is to the T, to the 9. You went and put your phone in this locker, and the rest of your personal belongings, and you got to be checked in. So you get your little name tag put on your chest saying your name and how you gonna get home, and you was just waiting to go and take your test. And I probably waited about a solid 60 minutes, if not more, with a bunch of other people from wherever they are, all throughout the city, and or all throughout the state, wherever they came from. I don't even know, but there was a lot. There was probably close to 70 to 90 individuals in this testing room, and I took mine in Texas. Hence my hat. And I went and I nailed that thing. I had a specific score that I was trying to meet in the arithmetic and word knowledge and word comprehension part of the test. I think there's about 6 different tests that obviously test your ability to understand these concepts. It's like arithmetic, reasoning, and word knowledge, and paragraph comprehension, like mechanical and technical, and a couple of these other things. And the ones that I need to focus on to get my specific score, how they determine my GT score, I was trying to meet a specific number, and I met that number by 1 over. So this isn't the score that I needed, but let's say I needed a 250. I got a 251. And I knew my ASVAB results about 30 minutes after I took the ASVAB. I texted my recruiter and I was like, yo, what was my score? And he told me the score that I got. So first of all, the recruiter drove me down to the building, so the recruiter had to drive me back to the recruiting office. And on that way back, that's when I figured out what my score was, and my recruiter was all happy for me, all excited, and he printed up my contract that I was able to earn, and he confirmed that was the contract that I wanted, and he put it on hold for me. He put it as a reserve for Lucas Wilson earning this specific MOS, this contract right here. And my contract came with a pretty good cash bonus, and that was my ASVAB experience. It was cool. It was smooth. I was nervous. because I didn't know what to expect, but it went way better than I could ever imagine. And this is for the thumbnail. And after that, went home, told my ma, told my pops, and I have 2 moms and I have 2 dads, and I told one set of them, and they were all excited for me, happy, saying I need to celebrate, all this kind of stuff, and I was very proud of myself. And that was the end of the ASVAB experience. Then a few days later, I was scheduled to go to MEPS, and that's your military entrance processing station, or I'm pretty sure that's what it stands for. And they put you up in a hotel the night before you go back to the same building that you went to take the ASVAB test, which is that federal building. And that was a cool experience because you got to check into the hotel and, you know, got to feel like, you know, you were a little like you accomplished a little something. And at least it was a cool experience for me, and I got to see all these other types of people, and I had a little pool. They fed us dinner, and there was a little curfew you were supposed to be in bed by, and had a roommate that I didn't know, but he was going into the Navy. He was shipping out the next day, and got to know him, and it was just cool, you know. So we woke up that morning and had some breakfast. Then we went back to the federal building. We woke up at like 3:30 in the morning. Then ate breakfast, got to the buses, and went on back down to that building. And then MEPS was a whole lot of waiting around, and I'm okay with that. I got a lot of patience, and that wasn't hard for me. They did like they tested your eyes, your vision, they tested your hearing. They gave you a physical. You had to provide a urination sample. They drew your blood, and you know, it was a whole lot of sitting around following orders, and it was cool. It was real cool. Made a lot of friends, met a lot of different people, and they provided us lunch, and it took the whole day. It took the entire day. We got to the building at 7. I don't think we left the building until about 3:30, and it was a cool experience for me, and ain't nothing went wrong. I passed all the tests and everything, and you know, I was good to go, and I'm healthy. I qualify for being in the military, and I got all my shit handled, and it was cool. It was real cool. I'm trying to figure out when I swore in, and I think I swore in after MEPS, because that would make sense. So it was either the day after or a couple days after. Then I went back to the recruiting office, and that's where I swore in. And you know, I raised my right hand, and I recited my lines that what was he? He wasn't a staff sergeant. I think he was one more than a staff sergeant. But I can't remember exactly what his rank was. But he told me to repeat after him, and I repeated after him. I had my right hand sworn up, and after that, we shook hands, and I signed my contract, and the commander told me the ins and outs of it, and bada bing, bada boom. Your boy was in. And that happened on September 29th, or either the 26th or the 29th. And it was cool. But that's how I got into the Army right there. That was a little bit like a summary of the process that I went through to become an enlisted soldier in the U.S. Army. And I'll probably make another video going into more detail about the sections, and I could discuss what it was truly like. But you know, if you are shipping out the basic training too, or if you're thinking about shipping out the basic training, I hope you found this helpful, and hit me up if you got any questions or to ask about my experience, or we could just, you know, chat and see if we're going to the same, if we're shipping out to the if we are shipping out to the same place, you know. And I would love to get to know y'all, and y'all get to know me, and it's gonna be cool. We all on this journey together, and I'd love to hear your why about why it is you chose this here U.S. Army. And I can't talk. I'm gonna be making a video about that too. But if you made it this far in the video, I appreciate y'all for listening. This is Luke Wilson. My ship out date is March 8, 2026. I'm shipping out to the U.S. Army basic training in Fort Benning, Georgia. And I appreciate y'all. Like this thing, comment, subscribe if you want to, all that bullshit, and I'll catch y'all in the next video. Peace.